everything in from the first half. Clark Walter finally makes his NL season debut and gets on the board with one goal. Short side early, making an immediate impact. Discipline has been a factor. Jake Withers takes two minors, both holds, opening the door for Saskatchewan. Special teams are telling the story. 4-4-8 for the on the power play with Sask, and that efficiency has swung a momentum early. Heading into halftime, plenty to unpack, plenty to adjust. Let's break it down. Patty, what's you send a tweet out there in this first half there talk about Halifax and their discipline, and then I quote tweeted and said like, did Halifax not watch the semifinal game against Sask?
I mean, there's no surprise that this is a team that struggled with discipline, and you can take the word discipline in many different ways. It's not just those compounding penalties, those penalties that, for whatever reason, always seem to find the back of the net when you're killing those penalties. It's also the commitment to not getting off the floor, not allowing, having that buy-in, sprinting hard to the bench, getting back on defense if you can't get to the bench, not allow the athletes of Saskatchewan to take over. But the fact of the matter is here, fellas, I think that was almost like tipping on nightmare for Halifax, and all of a sudden they're only down one. That just goes to show you how damn good this team is. Even when they're not playing great, couple bounces here and there, they're never out of this game. That is also what is so frustrating when watching this team. You know they are so much more capable of what they sometimes show. They need to be better. They need to be more disciplined in many facets. And I just think that they're far from out of this. But man, oh man, it took a miracle from Clark Peterson basically putting the team on his back for about 5 minutes there for them to even get this game within one. Like, if you told me this was going to be like an 8-2 um, first half about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, I would have believed you. But that's just the T-Birds way, man. It's so it's so up and down. It is such an up and down battle sometimes.
I feel like they're almost so skilled to where they can kind of just like put it in second gear for half of a quarter or half of a half, and then just say, like, hey, here we are, like we're gonna turn it on a little bit. Randy's gonna do his thing, Clark's gonna do his thing, Dawson's gonna create so much space because he's such a big body. And then, like as you say, like at the end there, like it says like what an absolute dynamite 6-on-5 play that they run.
Gorgeous.
Clark scores, and again, like we're sitting. I'm thinking the same things you are, Patrick. Is like that. Like, what is this score? Like, is it 5-6-1, 6-2? Oh no, shit! They're only down one. Like, what's going on? And Sask like just continues to battle and battle and battle and battle, and Halifax is like, yeah, not a big deal. We're just gonna pop quick three here, and then we're back at her.
Like we talk about the goalies, and it's been streaky, 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 tickles in the net. Pat, like which goalie you think is in the battle back the hardest between these two?
Oh, here's the thing. Both of them are battlers. That's the one thing that I like about both
Yeah, for
goalies
sure.
is that it doesn't really matter if they start out slow. They're gonna always fight through things. And I'll be honest, like maybe one or two, maybe Warren wants back, but of those six goals that were scored, what, two in transition, three in transition, one power play, maybe the one on Keenan's goal he probably wants back. But then again, what's Graham Hossick doing in no man's land? You either got to close the gap or get out of the way. And you could just tell him and Withers have a little bit of a miscommunication there. And you could tell you've seen it so many times, Frick. You see a defender kind of think about it, and you as an offensive player, what you're going to do? Well, I'm just going to shoot around him because now he's in the goalie's way. So yeah, but it's still a little bit of a weak one from Warren. I thought he was kind of getting screened a little bit from Haas there as well. But I mean, Frankie is the type of goalie where normally he plays better when he's seeing a lot of rubber. So the fact that I think he only had what 20 shots on goal that quarter there, maybe if he does start to see a little more rubber, that's where he's going to find his groove. But I'm not worried about goaltending with either of these guys. Like let's be quite honest. Both these guys are probably etching their names in the conversation for goaltender of the year to start this year. So I'm willing to spot them a couple of weak ones with how well they've played all year long.
Yeah, I think like unofficially stats are right now Warren's sitting on 21 saves and Frankie's somewhere's around the 15, 16 range, right? So
Yeah.
again, like if you look at the stats going into this, you got like you shouldn't expect anything but a fantastic goaltender duo, right? You got Frankie who's first in wins, first in minutes played. You got Warren who's first in goals against, first in save percentage. Like I love you, Andrew Kidd, but you're one shot, one save. That doesn't count for me. I'm sorry, right? Warren's sitting at an 87.3 save percentage. Yeah, Andrew Kidd,
Um,
you're at 100. You're at 100. I get it. All the kudos in the world.
that's my boy
That
Kidder,
doesn't count.
man. No Kidder
That
slander. We're
that
not
that
taking
that
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 tonight.
does that doesn't count, right? So but again, like goaltenders are what goaltenders are, and we know that they're going to be great. And these are two of the best in the game. I want to touch back on two guys that we've kind of we've talked about on the podcast here, Doss. You got Clark Walter who's making his season debut. I think three of those goals, including obviously the one that he scored, are direct result of Clark Walter being on that low left side. He creates so much chaos and so much havoc. And then you were a little hard on Steve Toll's newest son-in-law,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes, I
in
was.
Brock Haley. And one thing that you do have to recognize is that he's doing the hard work that
Yeah.
most guys aren't doing. He's
Yeah.
going out and getting the greasy loose balls. He's never been a pick guy in his life, and he's playing a pick roll game for Robert Church. And finally, he gets rewarded. And I said it on the pod. The kid is probably one of the best natural pure shooters I've seen in the many, many years that I've watched the game of lacrosse. He's going to figure it out. I will not be surprised if
Yeah.
Brock Haley goes absolutely off the second half and then carries it moving forward. Because, again, for goal scorers and especially pure shooters, as soon as one drops, the rest are going and going and going. And I love
Mhm.
that comment that somebody just dropped in with Brock Toll. That's fantastic. But you know that Liv is absolutely loving her life in Sask right now.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
boy just scored. He got the monkey off the back, and I think this is a great sign for the Saskatoon offense. Is that Clark's doing Clark things. Hopefully Brock can keep the monkey off his back, and they just keep absolutely rolling.
Yeah, I want to kind of build off both those guys because we'll start with Brock because I think you bring up a great point. This is a guy that every team he's played on, the offense has been pretty much ran through him up until his first year in pro. Like even when he gets dished out to what was it from Brooklyn to Coburg, now all of a sudden he becomes the top righty. But in junior B for the Gales, he's scoring a billion points for them. Then he goes up to Whitby, he's scoring a billion goals for them. Then he gets into this lineup with the Rush, and he's no longer the ball carrier. He's got to learn. And I think everyone just assumed that he was just going to jump into this roster and start filling the score sheet. We know how skilled he is, but he's starting to learn the rest of the things that he's supposed to do. Great play by him. I think he gets, gets stripped or a ball gets dropped at his feet. Graham Hossick picks up that loose ball, little home run check, grinds hard, gets the ball back for his team, strips Graham Hossick. On the other side with Walter, I've been screaming at the top of my lungs to get this guy into the lineup.
Yeah.
No knock against Levi Anderson because I know his ceiling is so much higher as a one or a two, but he's not going to be a one
Yeah.
or a two on this offense. You need a 3-4, and
No.
one of the best 3-4s in the league is Sparky. I mean, he crashes, he bangs, he frees up space, and we're not talking about a guy that's got no hands and no finish and you can't pass him the ball because when he does get the opportunities like he showed here tonight, he can finish the ball as well. So I was really excited to see him. I kind of was calling though for them to go lefty strong and keeping Levi Anderson in the lineup, but I think they're so happy with the way that Zawada's played.
Yeah.
They really didn't want to take him out of the lineup, which I totally understand. I mean, Derek Keenan's coached 300 NLL games. I'm going to take his word over mine like 9 times out of 10. I think Coach Quinlan was really pushing for Levi Anderson to stay in the lineup. And no knock on him. I think he's going to be a fantastic ball player. I would like to see him maybe get a chance somewhere else where he can be a true number one or number two. That's where we'll see his ceiling kind of play out. I think he still can contribute on this team. He just needs to learn, similar to what we talked about Brock Haley, do the little things as well before you're going to get your opportunities. But why have the guy in the stands who does all the little things great? when you got a perfect 3-4 standing right, waiting for that opportunity. He showed it tonight.
Patty,
I
before I
just
throw
I, I
you,
just think
go ahead,
with
Fergie.
I just think with Levi here, Patty, it's like it's almost like when you put him in on the left side, there's too many cooks in the kitchen,
Yep.
right? Because we know the ball's going to go through Ryan. It's been Ryan's offense ever since Mark left, and with a guy like Clark Walter, he's going to do the hard work, and not to say that the other guy isn't, but Clark's just better at it. He's
He's
better at
great.
setting jam picks. He's better at getting Zach Mans open. He's better at getting Ryan open. He's better in the 2-man game. Levi Anderson's a hell of a lacrosse player,
For
but
sure.
he's a ball dominant lacrosse player. And Clark, he again like a million times more skilled than I ever was. But he reminds me a lot of me to where he's just going to get into the middle and jam, jam, jam. And you know what? Like I remember one time I told Lewis Rockcliffe, like, stop passing me the ball. Like, let me just go and jam for you, and you go to the net. And even if I'm open, you're kind of open, and that's a better chance, right? And that's what I think Clark is. Clark is, yeah, okay, I'm half open, but if Ryan Keenan's half open or Zach Mans is half open, that's better than Clark Walter being half open, and he seems to be more than okay with playing that role.
And like Keenan play like he can crash and bang as well. Manzi, for what he of the type of player he is, he can crash and bang as well. But they play from the outside to the inside. You need a guy that plays from the inside to the outside, and that's exactly what Clark Walter is. Doss, that's why you were begging for a trade
Yeah,
to get him to Oshawa.
yeah,
That's why he's the type of guy that you want to have on that side. So when he was out, and you're not gonna, I thought maybe last game would be a game that they give him a go. They don't. They give him here tonight. I just tell you, man, Derek Keenan and Coach Q have their hands full deciding who's going into the lineup. I have a heart. I know it's only one half, fellas, but like, I don't know how you take Walter out of this lineup. Like, maybe you do give it a strong lefty look because he's been really, really good through the first 30 minutes here.
Patty,
It's
just a
it's
bit.
almost it's sorry, it's almost like one of those good kind of problems, right?
It's a
Like
great,
this
yeah,
is this is a
Yeah,
good it's a good problem to have. I don't know which one of my outstanding lacrosse players I'm gonna put in tonight. Like,
yeah.
oh my god, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh my god.
Patty, just to build up on that, I was talking to like last couple of weeks to a guy that I know the SAS that's really well, and he was kind of saying that Levi Anderson and Josh Watt are kind of building for that last spot on SAS. Like Clarkey, that's his spot, but they want those two to battle each other out because moving forward, they might be looking somewhere else because those
Mhm.
Levi Anderson, Josh Watt kind of bring that same kind of presence, right? They're young, very fast, want to drive the ball downhill, and they got to make a decision on one of the two. I'm gonna bring
And
up this comment on the stream here.
hold on. Let's not forget they got Julian Belair sitting in the background too.
Yeah, like
Right,
Well,
Jesus.
he
they,
just an absolute embarrassment of riches that they got on the offensive side of the ball.
it's crazy, and they're like, "Well, we got to find a spot for this kid. He's too good. If we let him walk, someone's picking him up. Okay,
Oh
we're gonna
yeah.
try you out the back door, kid." And from all things, it sounds like he had a great camp, and he's picking up the back gate. Like we know in junior he played a little back door with Orangeville, but I mean that kid's gonna be a special talent too.
Patty, how much is hockey being missed in the Birds locker room right now and on the floor?
How much is what? Sorry, being missed.
Hoagie,
Oh,
Thomas Hogarth. How
Oh,
much is
Hogan.
he being
Yeah.
missed in the room and on the floor?
big time, absolutely big time. And this is not a knock against Bomber because I think Bomber's a Swiss Army knife where you can pick and plug and put them anywhere. But what that right side was able to build last year, it was one of the best right sides in the game. And we talk about Clark Walter being a guy that plays from the inside out. He does that too, but he also has the capabilities for highlight reel goals. And
Yeah.
you look at that's what you're missing from him on the floor, off the floor in that locker room. Look down that bench. Look at a lot of the guys on the team. Like there's a lot of hot-headed, passionate, fiery gentlemen. What Thomas Hogarth is a calm, cool, and collected presence. Keeps guys level-headed. Sure, the wires can cross for old Hoagie. There's no doubt about that. But he's also a guy that's going to be like, guys, let's relax here. We're fine. We're good. No worries. No panic, right? So I think from that aspect, from a leadership standpoint, he's not going to be a guy that's going to rah and get you to run through a brick wall. But he just has that calming presence, and when he's working his bag off, getting those loose balls for all the other skilled guys on the floor, everyone else on the floor has no excuse but to work really hard as well.
Before we let everyone go and jump back to the game, what's the biggest takeaway into the second half that both teams need to close out in order to win this game?
I think.
For
Go ahead, Phil.
yeah, for me, I just think it's got to be either Halifax has to stay a little bit more disciplined and kind of just trust the system a little bit more, and Halifax or Saskatchewan just needs to run like the way that they run in between the lines. It's bar none better than most teams I've seen yet this year. So if Sask if Sask can continue to run in between the lines, I think they're going to be successful. If Halifax stays into the shit and keeps up with the dumb stuff, I think it's going to be a long second half. But if they don't, this is going to be a great second half.
Yeah, I will. Frick nailed it on the head. So I'll kind of go with two other ones that maybe could work for both teams as well. One, it's for Sask. Don't get in the mud. Do not allow Halifax to drag you into the stuff. Like that penalty there where Bell cross checks Garland and Garland takes a hack at him. Soak that cross check. Do not allow any. They do not give the refs any reason to even it up at all. Don't drag yourself into that. For Halifax, discipline was the theme in getting off the floor and staying out of the box. The other discipline is taking smarter shots. Don't, if you're down 2-3 goals, don't force it. You're not going to tie the game with a home run shot from the outside. Be selective with your shots. 5-6 seconds left on the clock. If you're bench side, get the heck off the floor. Just play smart, play sound, play within your system.
Hey, Patty, I know this guy's been bugging it a long time, Mr. El Captain Picks, but get some live betting on Coolbet.
We're trying, buddy. We're trying.
Hey, by the way, this podcast,
All right, boys.
this live stream is
Enjoy.
presented by Coolbet and Loading. Make sure you go to Coolbet and use code MESH, that's MES, to first deposit up to $200. And Loading Lacrosse, use Tonka 95 to order one of you bad boys. Look at this thing.
You lucky bastard. Looks good.
Enjoy the second half. Enjoy the second half, boys.
Patty,
Thanks
you know
for
what
having
it
me,
is?
fellas.
It's stiffer than Ron Jeremy. That's what.
Oh, I saw the promo. All time heck of a promo, buddy.
All right, boys. Enjoy the second half.